guys, Ivan here with the Old School Labs, and we are starting this video with a physique update of Breon Ansley, who seems to be in, well, perfect shape really. I don't see a hole in this physique. He probably doesn't lack anything, right? And the conditioning that he's bringing is insane. Based on everything we saw until this moment, it seems like he's gonna be reclaiming that title. Chris seems to be confident, but based on what I've seen, I think Breon is bringing just much better conditioning. And that's the only way that Breon can actually beat Chris, with conditioning. Not with classical lines. Chris just has better lines. I mean, if you talk about the aesthetics in classic physique, but the completeness of the muscular development and now the conditioning, it's on Breon's side, most likely. I would be really surprised if it turns out to be otherwise, if actually Breon comes in same conditioning as Chris, or if Chris was actually hiding his true shape, his true conditioning, and was showing us only the older photos, and eventually he does some crazy protocol and he comes, in better shape. It might happen, I don't know, but I don't think it's gonna be the case. I feel like if I was a betting man, I would definitely bet on Breon. At this point, it seems like he's gonna be reclaiming that title. And you gotta give it to the guy. I mean, he lost it, he was angry about it, he was pissed, he was hungry for it, and it seems like he's coming back to reclaim it. Yeah, what do you guys think? Alright, next we have Stanimal, right? I mean, would you even recognize him if I didn't tell you who it is? If I didn't show you his nickname right here? Would you even know it? I mean, he shaved his head, finally. It was about time. He was going bald for a while, and I noticed it because I have the same issue. So, it's kind of hard to accept the fact that you're gonna be a bald guy and to actually do it, to actually shave your head. So I don't want to make fun of him, but I'm happy that he actually realized eventually that he just needs to do it. And it doesn't look bad at all. It looks really badass. It doesn't look like him the way he used to look before, especially with the added muscle. Take a look at the size of this guy now. He was a man's physique competitor, then a classic physique, then 212, and now he's the open bodybuilder. So yeah, quite a transition over there. But the way he looked back with hair and with less beard, nothing like this. This is him back in his classic physique days. Take a look at this. I mean, it doesn't even remind you of the guy that I just showed you. Completely different. But I like this look. It's a badass look for sure. And I also really respect the gains that he has made. I mean, he started competing as a man's physique competitor, guys. Can you imagine this bodybuilder here being a man's physique competitor? This freakiness. Yeah, because he wanted to compete and he was small for bodybuilding. So he did men's physique, and then when classic physique came out, he did classic. But then he grew too much for it because he is a hardcore bodybuilder deep in his heart, just like myself. I would also love to do open bodybuilding one day, and seeing somebody like him here actually accomplishing that, doing that, it's really motivating, especially for me. So yeah, way to go, Stanimal. Great transformation here, and yeah, keep rocking that bald head. It looks badass. Alright, next up we have a training video of Phil Heath. Now it's been a while since we've seen him do any kind of training or posing video or a photo. Nothing, really nothing. We have no idea what he's looking like. Through this sweatshirt here, you can see veins right there on his triceps, but I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, really. Even if he was in a t-shirt, you cannot really say how conditioned somebody is based on their arms. You must see the lower body, like the glutes, the hamstrings, the lower back. That's like the spot where your body usually holds on to the biggest amount of fat, where you lose your fat last. One of those three regions. Depends on the person. So based on this video right here, I mean, you can see that he is big. His arms are big, but even back in the off-season, back when he wasn't probably blasting it, I'm not saying he ever went off, but when he was probably just cruising around with gear, he still had huge arms. That's Phil Heath. I mean, he has insane arms, but other than arms, you can see that his shoulders are really big and full, and his body from the side, the thickness of it, like chest to back length, it's quite big. I mean, he's thick and he's close to a show, so he has the size. He definitely does have the fullness. If he is conditioned, and that was never an issue for Phil. His worst conditioning ever was probably 2018, and that was something that we do not see on our current Mr. Olympia champ. I mean, Brandon Curry does not have glutes or hamstrings. Let's not even talk about hamstrings. I mean, Phil's hamstrings, probably the most defined hamstrings ever, one of the for sure. So Phil's conditioning, that was never an issue, and why would we doubt it now? But what you can see in this video is that he is big. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a really good version of Phil. It might be one of the best versions of him we have seen in a while. You know, maybe it's gonna be better than 2017, 16, 15, 14 even. Maybe it's gonna be one of those 2011, 12 or 13 versions. I actually have a feeling, a hunch that it's gonna be pretty close to 2013 version of Phil Heath, which in his mind is his best ever. Yeah, I don't know about the stomach, he's gonna be really fixed, but the size, yeah, it's gonna be one of his biggest, it seems. I don't think he ever was this big and full, only 10 days out of a show, and if he brings the conditioning, that's gonna be really good. And I'm pretty sure that he's gonna win this year's Mr. Olympia. I don't see anybody else taking him out. This is Phil Heath we're talking about. He would not compete against Brandon Curry and lose. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't risk it if he wasn't sure he's gonna win it. So yeah, let's just prepare to see our champion return. Alright, next we have Cedric McMillan, fans' favorite, one of the most loved bodybuilders of modern bodybuilding, a classic bodybuilder among the freaks, who had an injury, who broke his wrist, and I think his collarbone is also injured. And here he is. Here you can see him training. Yeah. He doesn't really take it easy. I mean, even though his wrist is broken, he finds a way to train. And does he seem downsized? I don't know, maybe a tiny little bit. But maybe his body is gonna like this rest. Maybe next time he competes, he's gonna look fresh. Sometimes it happens, you know, people have injuries, and this is not an injury, he didn't, tear a muscle. So it's not gonna negatively affect his muscularity, his physique in that sense. But it's gonna, hurt him. He's not gonna be able to train very hard for a while, which only means he's gonna rest up his joints and his muscle, and then once he's back on the track, when he starts training hard again, his body just might respond better than before. I would love to see that. I would love to see him back on the stage fresh like he once was. Lately, what we saw of Cedric wasn't exactly what we wanted to see. He didn't really look fresh. He would always kind of mess up the conditioning. The last time we saw him in shape was 2016 Arnold Classic. 2018 Arnold Classic Australia was decent, but still not what we want to see. We want to see Cedric shredded, peeled. Is it ever going to happen? I don't know. Me personally, my favorite edition of Cedric is 2012 New York Pro. And I love that version of Cedric. It's just super freaky. I mean, it's just round muscle belly, it's freshness. He wasn't maybe super conditioned, but still, this is probably what I would like my physique to look like ideally. I don't think there is a better looking physique ever of all time. This is probably my favorite physique of all time. I mean, the most complete. I mean, full muscle bellies, long insertions, conditioned enough, fresh looking, I don't know, just amazing. Take a look at this and admire it. Just absolutely outstanding. Anyways, I'm really hoping that he's going to be back on the stage and look like this, or something like this, similar at least, sometime again. And finally in this video we're going to have a video of Brandon Curry training chest. And take a look at the conditioning and the size that this guy is holding on to currently. It is impressive. It is impressive. This upper body, man, one of the most impressive upper bodies of all time, to be honest. Like the chest, the arms, the shoulders, the back, the waist, the abs, the forearms, the traps, the lower back, everything. Everything is just spot on. His entire upper body. I mean, and now he looks really conditioned, really ripped. I mean, take a look at the striations on chest and the veins and the thinness of the skin on the arms and the shoulders. It seems like he's going to be in a really good conditioning this year's Mr. Olympia. And I think it's going to be his best conditioning that he ever brought to the Mr. Olympia stage. I think so. I have a feeling. But what we don't know is how his legs are going to look. And no matter what, I don't think they're going to look better than Phil's. And I think that's going to be a major weakness for Brandon. So I don't care how impressive his upper body is on the stage, because it doesn't really, it's not gonna, beat somebody like Phil Heath. it's not going to be enough. You have to have your full physique. You need to have a lower body as well. It's not an upper body competition. It's not man's physique, it's bodybuilding. But if you talk about upper body strictly, everything considered, he's one of the most impressive bodybuilders of all time. So yeah, here you can see him. He's in a good shape. He's going to be probably at his best. This is a video that his coach posted, but there is a photo that Brandon posted as well. It's a high quality photo, and you can see the thinness of the skin, the conditioning. He looks ready, right? I don't think he's going to change much from this. That's his strategy usually. When he's 2 weeks out, he's ready, and then he just cruises slowly into the show. He doesn't do anything drastic. That's what he says, at least. And I can believe it, because I don't think he's gonna be more conditioned than this, and I don't think he should be any leaner or any drier than this. This is probably better than what he was last year at Mr Olympia. He's gonna be enough to beat Phil Heath. We'll find out very soon, but at this point I can say that his upper body looks super freaking impressive. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and if you want to see more, subscribe. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.